In this video, we're going to be ranking the most popular credit cards in a tier list here so you can know the truth about which ones are actually good and which ones are just overrated, like the first credit card here that claims to offer 2% cash back on everything but doesn't fully deliver on that promise, and that is going to be the Apple Card. Now, the Apple Card has been in the news a lot lately, and it does give you 2% back on everything, but only if you're paying with Apple Pay on your iPhone or your watch. So if you want to use that nice titanium physical credit card that they show off on their website, then your cash back actually gets devalued and basically cut in half down to only 1% back. And this card does not even have a standard sign-up bonus, which almost all other credit cards have in today's world. You do get 3% back and special 0% financing on Apple products, which is cool, but I would not suggest having a credit card strategy that's based entirely on benefits from just paying for expensive Apple stuff. So for those reasons, I'm not a fan of the Apple Card, and I'm putting it at the bottom of my list here as overrated. However, for this next credit card, this is maybe just as popular as the Apple Card and it's marketed everywhere. So I'm talking about the Discover It card, which I'm gonna rank here right in the middle of this list in the B tier. With the Discover It card, you're gonna get 5% back in rotating quarterly categories that change every 3 months to things like grocery stores, restaurants, and Amazon. Plus you get 1% back on everything else. But the two things that make this a good card are that first, it's pretty easy to get approved for, which makes it an excellent option for beginners. And then second, Discover is gonna match whatever cashback you earn with this card in your first year that you have it. Effectively, that means in your first year, those 5% categories become 10% back, and then that 1% category becomes 2% back on all other purchases. But again, that's only for 1 year here, so there's not too much else exciting after that, but it's still a good card with no annual fee, so I think a lot of people can get some really solid cashback value here. Now, if we want to talk about top tier credit cards, then next we have our first S tier card in this video that not only has a huge sign up bonus, but to some people it also might be the best all around travel credit card and the best catch-all credit card, and that is going to be the Capital One Venture X. Now, the Venture X is going to have a standard offer of 75,000 miles that's worth at least $750, and then you also get 10x miles in hotels and car rentals booked through Capital One, 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One, and then 2x miles on everything else. And that 2x miles on everything else is definitely better than 2% back with the Apple Card, in my opinion, because you're earning more valuable miles in this case, and those miles can be redeemed for travel instead of cash back, and there's also no restrictions on earning those 2x miles. Now, the Venture X does have a $395 annual fee, but you get a $300 annual travel credit plus a 10,000 mile anniversary bonus every year, which is worth at least $100 at a minimum. So basically, that annual fee and the value from those two benefits sort of just offsets each other. On top of all that, you're getting airport lounge access to Capital One lounges and some other lounges as well, plus a ton of other good travel features and benefits. So a lot of value packed into this one premium travel credit card, and for those reasons, it definitely deserves a spot at the very top of this tier list. However, not everyone wants to pay $395 upfront for a credit card, and I completely understand that. So next here, with an annual fee of only $95, this travel credit card is honestly a must-have in my opinion for anyone that wants easy value, and that is going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, with that $95 annual fee, the Sapphire Preferred is going to give you a $50 hotel credit every year. You get a standard 60,000 point sign-up bonus that's worth at least $750 in value at a minimum for travel, or more if you transfer those points out to partner programs like Hyatt. And then you're going to earn points in a number of ways, like 5x on travel booked through Chase and 2x on any other travel, plus 3x on dining, online groceries, and streaming. On top of all that, you get some nice travel benefits like primary auto rental coverage, and my favorite part about this card is that you can basically combine the points you earn from certain other Chase credit cards out there under a Chase trifecta setup, and that really helps you to amplify the value of those points that you earn from those other cards as well. So the Sapphire Preferred is going to go into the A tier because it's got a great bonus, a cheap annual fee, and again, it works really well at the center of the Chase trifecta, but the spending multipliers are really just okay, which is why I'm not putting it into the top tier. Now, speaking of the Chase trifecta, I want to rank those cards next here. So for the Freedom Flex, I'm going to put that right next to the Sapphire Preferred up here in the A tier as well. And then for the Freedom Unlimited card, I'm just going to put that a level below down in the B tier. So both the Freedom Flex and Freedom Unlimited have no annual fee. They both get 5x back on travel booked through Chase, as well as 3x back on dining and drugstore purchases. But then where they differ is that the Freedom Flex gets 5x back in rotating quarterly categories, similar to the Discover It card, and then the Freedom Unlimited card just gets a flat 1.5x back on all other purchases, which makes this a decent catch-all credit card as well. Now, you are earning Chase points here, even though Chase markets these cards as earning cash back on their website. And that is important to know because, like I said, if you have a Chase Sapphire card like that Sapphire Preferred, then those Chase points here can be combined where you get a lot more value by redeeming for travel. And I explain the process of this stuff in more detail in another video about the Chase Trifecta that I'm going to link to down below if you want to watch that after this. But also, both of these Freedom cards typically come with a really nice sign-up bonus too, which can change from time to time, but those bonuses are usually in the range of around $200 or so, or really 20,000 Chase points. Now, the reason I'm putting the Freedom Flex card up here in the A tier is because it's sort of like a better version of the Discover It card with more spending multipliers and higher value because it's earning Chase points here instead of cash back. And then I'm putting the Freedom Unlimited in the B tier because as a catch-all card, it's only earning 1.5x back, whereas other cards out there like the Venture X earn 2x back. So I really would love to see Chase bump that up in the future, but we'll see what they do. Now, another card that also gets 2x back on everything that gets talked about a lot is the City Double Cash card, and I was gonna put this card in the C tier because normally I think it's a bit overrated since typically there was no standard sign-up bonus. However, as I was making this video, I did see a new offer pop up for $200 cash back, or really 20,000 City thank you points, and I don't see anything saying that this is a limited time offer, so hopefully it's here to stay. And if that's true, then what I'm gonna do is move it up here to the B tier. Now, because you're actually earning City points here on the double cash, you have the option to easily convert that into cash back, or you can save up those points and then combine them for more value with the next credit card here, which is gonna be the City Premier card that I'm also gonna put in the B tier as a solid travel credit card option. With the $95 per year City Premier card, you're getting a standard 60,000 point bonus that's worth at least $600 or more for travel with transfer partners. And then my favorite part about this card are its spending multipliers, which I think might be some of the best in the credit card game. So you're gonna get 3x points per dollar on restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, air travel, and hotels, which is amazing because that covers so many things. Now, the reason it's gonna go in the B tier and not higher is because it is lacking any other good features that other $95 per year cards like the Sapphire Preferred have, and the City Premier also has no travel insurances or protections that you would expect a travel credit card to come with. But again, good sign-up bonus, great points multipliers, and you can create a City Trifecta with the Premier, Double Cash, and also the City Custom Cash card, which I'm gonna put up here in the A tier next in this video. So with the City Custom Cash, you're getting a $200 bonus in the form of 20,000 City thank you points, plus you'll be able to earn 5x back in your highest spend category every billing cycle out of 10 categories like restaurants, gas stations, or grocery stores. And what credit card optimizers like myself here really like about this unique feature is that you can basically just pick one of those 10 categories and sort of easily lock in getting 5x back in that category by only using the custom cash card for that one thing. That makes this card highly customizable, like the name says, and it also makes it the perfect no annual fee credit card to basically supplement any cashback or travel credit card setup because you can redeem City points that it earns for cashback, or again, you can combine those points with the City Premier card for more value with its transfer partners. So for those reasons here, there's very little to dislike about the custom cash card, and it deserves to be up there in the A tier. Now, if you really want to be wowed by a no annual fee credit card, and if this next card here on this list, you're getting a $200 sign-up bonus plus 3% back on dining, entertainment, streaming, and grocery stores, and even 10% back on Uber through November 14th, 2024. So that card is going to be the Capital One Saver One, which I think deserves a spot here in the top of this tier list, up in the S tier. And the reason this is gonna go to the top is because, again, you get all that value from the sign-up bonus and the spending multipliers, but you also have good features like no foreign transaction fees, which makes the Saver One card a rare, no annual fee card that's very good for spending outside of the US. Now, all that is great if you're looking for a solid cashback card, but if you pair the Saver One with the Venture X and a Capital One Duo setup, you're gonna be able to turn that cashback that you earn from the Saver One card into more valuable Capital One miles. And I explain that in more detail in another video about the Capital One Duo that you can go ahead and check out later at the link down below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down below too, because it's completely free, and apparently over 80% of you are actually not subscribed yet, according to my data. So let's see if we can get that number down to 70%. So make sure to go ahead and subscribe. Now, I've got two more credit cards next here that also earn 3% back in a lot of good ways. So those are gonna be the Blue Cash Everyday card from American Express, as well as the Autograph card from Wells Fargo. These cards also both have no annual fee, and for the Blue Cash Everyday, you're gonna earn 3% cash back on groceries at US supermarkets, 3% back on US online retail purchases, and then 3% back on gas at US gas stations. Plus, you get a $200 statement credit as a bonus, as well as credits to partially cover the cost of the Disney bundle and Home Chef. However, this is a cashback card, and those 3% categories are also limited to earning 3% back on only up to $6,000 of spending in each category per year. So I wish there wasn't a spending cap like that, which is why I'm gonna rank this one up here in the B tier. Then for the Wells Fargo autograph, this card is gonna give you a 30,000 point sign-up bonus that's worth $300 at a minimum. Plus, it's gonna earn 3x points per dollar, which is worth at least 3% back in a bunch of different categories, including restaurants, travel, gas, transit, streaming, and phone plans. And then there's been news out there that apparently transfer partners are coming to the autograph card pretty soon. So for me right now, I'm gonna put the autograph card up here in the B tier, but honestly, it is kind of an underrated card since a lot of people don't like Wells Fargo that much, even though it is a really good card, and Wells Fargo seems to be working on bringing out new travel credit card products in the near future as well. Now next here, I've got two cards that I get mail offers for all the time and I had to include for fun because it's honestly kind of laughable at how bad they are. So that would be the luxury card Gold and Black MasterCards. The Gold MasterCard has a $9.95 annual fee and the Black MasterCard costs $4.95 per year, and they're made out of metal, so that's all cool here, but they've got no sign-up bonus. They're basically just cashback cards that earn 1.5 to 2% back, so there's no way you're pretty much ever going to justify paying those huge annual fees. So I think they just try to get people to sign up thinking they're these luxury cards or something with these mail offers, but definitely avoid these cards because they're gonna go down here in the D tier. Next, we've got the Amex Green Card, which I'm gonna put over here in the C tier as a bit overrated in my opinion, which might be controversial. And that's because for a card that has a $150 annual fee, the value that you're getting just doesn't quite feel like it's there. You're gonna be able to earn 3x points per dollar on travel, transit, and dining, which does include a lot of things here, especially if you live in a city and you're spending on a wide variety of travel expenses. But there's plenty of no annual fee cards that also get 3x on dining, and you'd have to spend a lot on travel and transit just to basically break even with the annual fee. Now, you do get a standard 40,000 point sign-up bonus on the green card, but that's still not a great offer compared to other Amex cards out there or even other cheaper cards in the market that have 60,000 point sign-up bonuses. And then there's not too many other features and benefits other than a clear credit. So yeah, for me, the green card is just kind of below average and belongs down here in the C tier until Amex updates it or something like that. Now, another card that's popular, but I don't really recommend that much, is gonna be the Capital One Quicksilver card, which I'm also gonna put over here in the C tier. And this is a very good beginner card that's usually pretty easy to get approved for. It's got a decent $200 bonus, plus it gets 1.5% back on everything and has no foreign transaction fees. However, it's just a simple 1.5% cashback card at the end of the day, and with that new $200 bonus on the City Double Cash, you're gonna be better off getting 2% back on everything with that card there instead of 1.5% back on the Quicksilver. So again, it's a good card for beginners, but not good enough compared to the competition, which is why it's gonna be ranked here in the C tier for me. Next, we have the US Bank Altitude Go card, which has no annual fee and no foreign transaction fees. It's got a 20,000 point bonus that's worth $200. And then it's gonna be a great everyday spending card by getting 4x points per dollar on dining, takeout, and delivery, and then 2x on grocery stores, grocery delivery, streaming, gas stations, and EV charging. Now, US Bank cards can be a little bit more difficult to get approved for, and this is also just more of a cashback card because US Bank doesn't really have a great travel program, so you are kind of limited. So I'm putting the Altitude Go card over here in the B tier, and honestly, most other US Bank cards are gonna go there as well as good underrated cards for some people. But if you want a card that I think is much better than the Altitude Go, which gets 4x back at restaurants as well as 4x back at US supermarkets, and then 3x back on flights in the form of valuable Amex MR points, then the Amex Gold here is gonna be next, and that might be one of the best overall cards in the market, which is why it's gonna go up here in the top S tier. Now, you do have a $250 annual fee, but you get up to $240 in annual Uber and dining credits that can help a lot of people to offset that fee. Plus, I personally think that American Express has some of the best offers out there with different retailers that typically save me at least 50 to $100 extra every year with this card. You can also find nice welcome bonuses on the Amex Gold that are typically in the range of 60 to 75,000 points, worth at least $600 to $750. But the top two things about this card are that it's so great with food spending with those 4x point multipliers, and then those points can be redeemed for travel for a lot of value with transfer partners because American Express partners with some of the best partner programs. Now, just like most credit cards, the Amex Gold is not going to be perfect for everyone. So make sure you go ahead and check out my full 3-year review I did on the gold card and my experience with it. But I want to move on next here to the Amazon Prime Visa card, which is going to be another card with no annual fee. And this one gives you a $100 Amazon gift card as a bonus immediately once you get approved. You get 5% back on Amazon Whole Foods and Chase Travel, plus 2% back on gas, restaurants, and local transit and commuting. So with all that there, plus no foreign transaction fees as well, if you're into cashback setups or you just want to lock in getting 5% back on Amazon, and if you're a Prime member, then this card's going to be a no-brainer must-have card, and it goes up here into the A tier. Now for some travel credit cards next tier, let's start by talking about the Bilt MasterCard, which is a very, very unique card for people like myself that pay rent. So this card has no annual fee. It earns 3x Bilt points per dollar on dining, 2x on travel, and then 1x on rent and everything else. But the important thing here is there's no transaction fees when paying rent with this card, whereas most other credit cards out there charge you an extra 2 to 3%. So with the Bilt MasterCard, you can earn up to 100,000 Bilt points per year depending on how much you pay for rent. So for me, that ends up being around 27,000 points per year. And those Bilt points are possibly the most valuable out of any point currency because Bilt partnered up with some really great transfer partners like Hyatt and American Airlines. So for me, my 27,000 Bilt points that I earn per year usually gets me at least $540 in free travel at a minimum just by paying rent, which I have to do anyway. So for those reasons, and because this card has no annual fee, I'm putting the Bilt MasterCard up in the A tier here, with the only downside being that there's no standard sign-up bonus, but for this card, at least it is maybe a little bit more understandable because it does offer that unique benefit for paying rent and earning points with no fees. Next here, we've got the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is basically just the more premium version of the Chase Sapphire Preferred card that we talked about earlier. So this card has a more expensive $550 annual fee, but it comes with a $300 annual travel credit to partially offset that fee. And then you also get a 60,000 point bonus, 10x on hotels and car rentals, and then 5x on flights booked through Chase, and then 3x on any other travel and dining. Plus there's a 50% points boost feature if you book travel through Chase by using your points. You also get airport lounge access with Priority Pass and the new Chase Sapphire lounges that are starting to roll out across the country. So for me, the choice between the Sapphire Preferred card and the Sapphire Reserve really all just depends on what you're looking to get out of these cards. So I made a separate video comparing these two that I'll link to down below, but this is a very good card that I'm gonna put up here into the A tier. Next, we gotta talk about the star of the show in the premium credit card space that competes with the Sapphire Reserve as well as the Venture X card. So that is gonna be the Amex Platinum that people seem to be really divided over, and that's why I'm gonna place it over here in the B tier for my rankings. To me and many other travelers that obsess about the numbers and sort of nerd out about optimizing our setups, the Platinum card is great because it's got a ton of credits that help to offset the $695 annual fee. But to many other people, the joke is that it's sort of like an expensive metal coupon book because there's just so many credits and benefits that you gotta keep track of. There's still definitely good value here with the sign-up bonuses that can range from 80,000 to 125,000 points. You can earn 5x on flights and then 5x on prepaid hotel bookings through Amex. Plus there's a ton of other great travel protections and benefits like airport lounge access, which includes access to the large network of Amex Centurion lounges. So again, I think it's a good card and I would probably put it in the low A tier myself, but with a larger audience in mind, I think the work can sort of just become a headache here, so I am gonna put it over in the B tier. Next, we've got the Wells Fargo Active Cash, which is just another solid cashback credit card, earning a flat 2% back on everything and a $200 sign-up bonus with no annual fee. But outside of those features, there's really not much else to it outside of a cell phone protection benefit. So it's another good catch-all card that's competitive with that 2% rate, but just average other than that, so it's gonna go over here in the B tier as well. After that, we're gonna jump over to another catch-all card that really does not get talked about enough, which is gonna be the PayPal MasterCard that also earns a flat 2% back on everything. But the cool bonus feature here is that you also get 3% cash back if you pay with PayPal, which a lot of websites offer when you're shopping online. The downside here is that once again, there is not a standard sign-up bonus offer, so if there was a sign-up bonus, then I would put this card up in the A tier as a cashback card, but without it, I am gonna put it over in the B tier, again, as a good option for anyone that is on Team Cashback. Then next, I wanna rank the Chase World of Hyatt credit card because Hyatt has one of the strongest programs in terms of points value, since you can still find a lot of great deals by using Hyatt points. But for this credit card itself, I would say it's sort of just okay or around average. It's got a $95 annual fee, and you get a free night award every single year with a category 1 to 4 Hyatt property. So that free night is easily gonna be worth more than $95 because, for example, I'm using a free night in a few weeks for a property that normally would charge $309 per night. So with this feature alone, it's a card that belongs belongs over here in the B tier as a hotel keeper card. But the sign-up bonus and the spending multipliers are really not that great, honestly, just because you get 30,000 points, which is okay after spending $3,000. Then to get another 30,000 points in this bonus, you got to spend $15,000. It's good for spending at Hyatt properties, but other than that, I don't really use it that much for any other spending with below average multipliers that it has. So again, for me, it's going to go here in the B tier. We're going to stick with hotel cards and go over to the $95 per year Chase Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card next here, which I'm going to put over in the C tier below the Hyatt card. And you do get a free night every year with this card as well, which is worth up to 35,000 points. But I'll be honest, in most cases, Marriott points are pretty bad and they've been devalued so much. So 35,000 Marriott points barely gets you anything good in many cases. And because the points are worth so little, I would never even consider using this card for its point multipliers. So the Boundless card here, in my opinion, is just gonna go in the C tier because the sign-up bonus can be okay since I did get a limited time offer of 5 free nights worth up to 50,000 points each. But other than that, I don't really think it's that great of a hotel keeper card. Now, for a more premium Marriott card with the Amex Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, I'm gonna put this one a step above the Boundless over into the B tier, but only for somebody that stays at Marriott properties a lot because you're gonna get automatic Platinum Elite status, which gives you a free breakfast benefit that can save you some money over the course of a year. Plus, you get more upgrades, up to $300 in dining statement credits, and a free night worth up to 85,000 Marriott points, which actually can be valuable. But there is a big $650 annual fee, so again, you gotta analyze those benefits versus that cost and then look at how often you stay at Marriott's. But for me, this is a middle B tier card. We might as well jump over to a Hilton card as well here with one that I think most Hilton loyalists should look at, which is going to be the Hilton Honors Aspire card from American Express, which has a $550 annual fee. But with that, you're going to be able to buy your way to the top tier Hilton Honors Diamond status, which gets you upgrades, a food and beverage credit for stays, and then some other benefits like that. However, with the ability to basically buy status by getting this card, that means more people are going to have Diamond status, so that might be less valuable than other top tier statuses with other hotel programs. You also get a really valuable free night award for use on any property, so a lot of people like to pick a more expensive hotel to get more value from this free night award. And there's also a bunch of other credits here on this card that can help you to justify that $550 fee. But again, I would say this card is only for Hilton people, so I am going to put it over here into the B tier. For airline credit cards from airlines like Delta, American, and United, I could try to rank each one of these individually, but honestly, what I would recommend is that people only get cards that make sense for what you fly the most. And I would say that most of them just fit into the B and C tier anyway, so I would really focus on earning flexible points currencies from banks like Chase, Amex, Capital One, and Citi first. And that's because those points there, they just give you more options for redeeming them. Now, the problem with ranking all these credit cards is that it can be really tough to pick out which ones you should get together that's gonna create the best setup for you and give you the most value. So that's why I went ahead and made this video over here on the only 5 credit cards you need, so definitely go ahead and check that out next. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.